There is a place 40 minutes southwest of Riyadh where the desert suddenly ends. The Tuwaiq Escarpment rises from the sand like a frozen wave. For thousands of years, this 800-kilometer geological formation has divided the Arabian Peninsula. Bedouin tribes navigated by its shadow. Caravans rested in its shade. The cliffs watched empires rise and fall. The escarpment never changed until someone decided it should become the world's largest playground. On December 31st, 2025, as the world prepared to welcome a new year, Saudi Arabia unveiled something unprecedented. 6 Flags Qiddiya City, 17 acres carved into ancient rock, 28 rides and attractions, 3 world records, $1 billion. The first 6 Flags theme park ever built outside North America. The first major entertainment destination of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030. The beginning of what officials call the power of play. But behind every ride, behind every record, behind every carefully engineered scream of delight, there is a story of ambition that defied physics, of construction that raced against time, of a kingdom that bet billions on the simple belief that fun could transform a nation. Few believed it would actually happen. Saudi Arabia had no theme park industry, no roller coaster heritage, no culture of weekend family entertainment in the Western sense. The country had only recently begun allowing cinemas. Public concerts were still a novelty. Mixed-gender entertainment was barely a year old. Building a world-class theme park here seemed like building a ski resort in the south, which, incidentally, Saudi Arabia is also doing. This is the story of how the impossible became possible, and the questions that remain unanswered. April 4th, 2018. Charlotte, North Carolina. 6 Flags Entertainment Corporation made an announcement that sent shockwaves through the industry. They would build a massive new park in Saudi Arabia. The partner, the Public Investment Fund, the kingdom's sovereign wealth fund with assets exceeding $700 billion. The location, a place called Qiddiya. At the time, Qiddiya existed only on paper, a master plan. A vision, a 334 square kilometer plot of desert that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman had designated as the future entertainment capital of Saudi Arabia. The park was initially scheduled to open in 2022, but 6 Flags saw something others missed. A population of 35 million, with 60% under the age of 35. A middle class, with disposable income, and nowhere to spend it. Every year, millions of Saudis traveled abroad for entertainment. To Dubai, to Bahrain, to Europe and America. They spent billions outside their own country because their own country offered them nothing. Vision 2030 intended to change that, and 6 Flags Qiddiya City would be the flagship. In late 2021, the main construction contract was awarded to a joint venture between Bouygues Bâtiment International, the French construction giant, and Al Mabani, general contractors, one of Saudi Arabia's largest builders. The value, approximately 3.75 billion Saudi riyal, roughly $1 billion. The Tuwaiq Escarpment presented engineers with a fundamental problem. The cliffs rise 600 feet above the surrounding desert. The rock is limestone, formed over 160 million years ago when this region lay beneath a shallow sea. The stone is stable but fractured, prone to erosion, carved by millennia of wind and rare but violent floods. Building a theme park here meant cutting into geological history. From the moment excavators bit into the plateau, the project faced a cascade of engineering challenges. The site required massive cut-and-fill operations. Retaining walls had to be constructed along the escarpment edge to prevent collapse. Deep foundations were drilled into fractured limestone. Utilities, roads, and back-of-house facilities had to be sequenced with millimeter precision. The rock looked stable from the surface, one engineer later recalled. But once you started cutting, you found voids, fractures, places where water had been carving passages for millions of years. Every section was different. Every section was a surprise. The original 2022 deadline came and went. Then 2023. Then 2024. The world began to wonder if 6 Flags Qiddiya would join the growing list of Saudi megaprojects that promised everything and delivered nothing. NEOMs, the line was already showing cracks. Other vision, 2030 projects face delays and cutbacks. Skepticism was becoming the default response to Saudi announcements. But something was happening on that plateau that the skeptics didn't see. While headlines focused on delays, construction crews were building something that had never existed before. They were building Falcon's Flight. The numbers alone defy comprehension. A roller coaster that climbs 640 feet into the sky, a first drop of 525 feet, a top speed exceeding 155 miles per hour, a track length of nearly 2 miles. The world's tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster, all at once. Intamin, the Swiss ride manufacturer behind some of the world's most extreme coasters, designed Falcon's Flight specifically for this location. The ride doesn't just sit on the escarpment. It uses the escarpment. At one point, the track plunges over the cliff edge, diving toward the desert floor before swooping back up. The engineering required new structural calculations, new safety protocols, new materials capable of withstanding both the forces of the ride and the extreme desert heat. You cannot simply scale up existing designs, an Intamin representative explained. At these heights and speeds, every variable changes. Wind loads are different. Thermal expansion is different. The human body experiences forces that require entirely new restraint systems. The train cars themselves are engineering marvels. Custom-designed seats, magnetic braking systems, sensors that monitor every millimeter of track in real time, and all of it had to work flawlessly in temperatures that regularly exceed 45 degrees Celsius. But Falcon's Flight was not alone. Iron Rattler, the world's tallest tilt coaster, a hybrid wooden-steel design that lifts riders to a 90-degree angle before dropping them into a twisted maze of inversions and airtime hills. Spitfire, the world's tallest inverting coaster, a machine designed to flip riders upside down at heights that make experienced enthusiasts nervous. 3 world records in one park. On opening day, the park spreads across 6 themed lands, radiating from a central structure called the Citadel. Each land tells a different story. Each offers a different experience. 18 of the 28 rides are specifically designed for families. A deliberate choice. Saudi Arabia has one of the youngest populations in the world. The average age is 31. Any entertainment destination hoping to succeed here must cater to children, but the records matter for a different reason. They represent ambition. Statement proof that Saudi Arabia can compete with anyone, anywhere, in any industry it chooses. The billion-dollar question that few ask: who built this place? Construction in Saudi Arabia relies overwhelmingly on foreign labor. Workers from Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, Nepal, the Philippines, and dozens of other countries form the backbone of every major project. Six Flags Qiddiya City was no exception. At peak construction, thousands of workers lived on or near the site. They worked in shifts that stretched through the brutal summer months. They operated heavy machinery in temperatures that would shut down construction sites in most other countries. Saudi Arabia's labor system has faced sustained international criticism. The kafala sponsorship system, though reformed in recent years, still ties workers to their employers. Exit visas, wage disputes, living conditions. These issues shadow every mega project in the kingdom. Qiddiya Investment Company has stated its commitment to worker welfare. The company claims to have implemented strict safety standards and living condition requirements for all contractors. Independent verification is difficult. What is certain is this: the men who poured the foundations, welded the steel, and assembled the rides, piece by piece, came from places far from Saudi Arabia. They built a playground they will likely never afford to visit. Their names do not appear in the press releases. This is the invisible equation of every megaproject, the labor that makes luxury possible, the hands that build what others will enjoy. At $85 per adult ticket, a single day at Six Flags Qiddiya City costs more than many construction workers earn in a week. The mathematics of entertainment, like the mathematics of transformation, contains numbers that are rarely spoken aloud. December 29, 2025. The governor of Riyadh province, Prince Faisal bin Bandar, stood before a crowd of officials, executives, and invited guests. Behind him, the lights of Six Flags Qiddiya City blazed against the desert night. The moment had finally arrived. After 7 years of planning, 4 years of construction, and countless setbacks, Saudi Arabia's first major theme park was ready. The ceremony featured speeches praising Vision 2030, videos showcasing the rides, promises of economic transformation and tourism growth. And then Alicia Keys took the stage. The American singer performed before the assembled crowd, her voice echoing off the ancient cliffs. 5 years earlier, such a concert would have been unthinkable. A woman performing publicly in Saudi Arabia, mixed-gender audiences, entertainment as celebration rather than transgression. The symbolism was unmistakable. 2 days later, on December 31st, the gates opened to the public. They came by the thousands. Families from Riyadh, tourists from across the Gulf, enthusiasts who had followed the project for years, children who had never seen a roller coaster in person. "I used to travel to Dubai for this," one Saudi father said. "Now I can give my children these experiences in our own country. This is what Vision 2030 means to me." Ticket prices reflected the premium positioning. Adult admission at $85, children at $70. A family of 4 could easily spend $400 before food, merchandise, or parking. These prices place Six Flags Qiddiya City among the most expensive theme parks in the world. The target audience is clear: the Saudi middle and upper classes, wealthy Gulf tourists, and international visitors willing to pay for a unique experience. Six Flags is just the beginning. Qiddiya Investment Company, wholly owned by the Public Investment Fund, has plans that extend far beyond a theme park. The 334 square kilometer development is designed to become a city unto itself, a destination built entirely around the power of play. 15 million expected annual visitors by 2030. 1,000 permanent residents eventually. Thousands of hotel rooms, restaurants, and retail spaces. A water park, a nature reserve, an indoor snow park, and at the center, a stadium designed to host matches during the 2034 FIFA World Cup. The Prince Mohammed bin Salman Stadium, currently under construction adjacent to Six Flags, will seat over 46,000 spectators. When completed, it will become home to Al Hilal and Al Nassr. It will host concerts, events, and eventually World Cup matches. 2 weeks before the park opened, WWE superstars visited as part of their Royal Rumble 2026 promotional tour. Randy Orton, Liv Morgan, Omos. They posed on the rides. They met with executives. They added their star power to the marketing machine. The crossover was no accident. Saudi Arabia has invested billions in WWE over the past 8 years. The Royal Rumble 2026, scheduled for January 31st at a purpose-built stadium in Riyadh, represents another milestone in that relationship. Six Flags Qiddiya City fits into this ecosystem. Entertainment as soft power, spectacle as strategy, fun as foreign policy. The kingdom is building an integrated entertainment infrastructure designed to keep Saudis spending at home and attract tourists from abroad. Theme parks, wrestling events, concerts, film festivals, esports, arenas. Each piece reinforces the others. Not everyone is celebrating. There's a fundamental tension in Vision 2030. One Middle East analyst observed, "The kingdom wants to be seen as modern, open, and fun." But the same week Six Flags opened, Saudi Arabia executed its 356th prisoner of 2025, a new record. How do you reconcile roller coasters and record executions? The question is uncomfortable. It has no easy answer. Saudi Arabia presents itself as a nation in transformation. Concerts that were banned are now celebrated. Women who couldn't drive now attend mixed-gender theme parks. Entertainment options that didn't exist a decade ago are now world-class. But other things haven't changed. Political prisoners remain in custody. Dissent is still dangerous. The press is not free. Six Flags Qiddiya City exists within this contradiction. It is simultaneously evidence of change and a distraction from stasis. Progress and performance at once. The economic questions are equally complex. Will Saudi Arabia's young population embrace theme park culture? Will international tourists extend their trips to include roller coasters? Can the park maintain premium pricing in a country where the minimum wage is approximately $1,000 per month? Six Flags Entertainment Corporation operates the park under a management agreement. The financial risk falls primarily on the Saudi side. This structure insulates Six Flags from potential losses while giving them access to a potentially lucrative new market. For Saudi Arabia, the calculation is different. The park is an investment in transformation. Its success will be measured not just in ticket sales, but in shifted perceptions. The Tuwaiq Escarpment has watched this land for 160 million years. It watched the seas recede. It watched the desert form. It watched humans arrive, survive, and slowly build civilizations in the harshest conditions imaginable. Now it watches something new. Children laughing on roller coasters. Families sharing moments of joy. Young Saudis working jobs the grandparents couldn't have imagined. Is this progress? Is this distraction? Is this transformation, or merely spectacle? Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has staked his legacy on transformation. Six Flags Qiddiya City is evidence that at least some of those promises are being kept. The park exists. It operates. It offers experiences that didn't exist a decade ago. Not all Vision 2030 projects can say the same. NEOMs. The line has been scaled back by 98%. Construction was suspended in September 2025. Tens of billions of dollars were spent on foundations that may never support the promised structure. Against this backdrop, Six Flags Qiddiya City stands as a relative success. Completed. Operational. Attracting visitors. The bar may be low, but the park cleared it. As darkness falls over the escarpment, a roller coaster train climbs slowly toward the sky. 50 passengers, rising 640 feet above the desert floor. For a moment, at the apex, everything stops. 10 it falls. 525 feet of controlled terror. 155 miles per hour of engineered adrenaline. The experience lasts perhaps 3 minutes. The memory, the marketer's hope, lasts forever. But the question echoes across the desert night. What happens when the ride ends? The escarpment offers no answer. It has learned over 160 million years that some questions must simply wait.